For more on the issue of race in America, I spoke to Judith Browne Dianis. She's a civil rights attorney and the executive director of the Advancement Project National Office. To start, I asked her how the outcome of the trials in Floyd's case might shape the push for racial equality.
The outcome of the case, the George Floyd murder case, is but one piece of getting towards racial equality in this country. While it may be celebrated by some, it won't bring George Floyd back. It may send a signal to police officers that they will be held accountable for their actions. But there's so many more things that we have to do to make sure that we have justice in America for Black and other people of color.
What else would you like to see?
Well, beyond whatever comes out of that, if there's a conviction or not, there are serious changes that need to happen in policing. First of all, being able to take some of the money that is spent on police and put it into the kinds of services and supports that our communities need is very important. So, for example, homeless people get arrested for being on the streets. They actually need affordable housing. People who have mental health incidents where we call the police, we need a mental health corps that helps people through those incidents. So there are many things, including education. Our schools are under-resourced. So there are many other things that our country has to do in order to make sure that we have racial justice.
President Trump has faced backlash for sharing a tweet that included a video of a supporter shouting "white power." How has the president handled race relations in America?
Trump has been abysmal on racial relations and on attacking racism and structural racism in this country. That tweet was but one signal for his own base about who he stands with in this moment. While the White House tried to distance itself, we know they try to distance themselves from a lot of things that Trump says, like disinfectant being injected into you for COVID-19. No, he really meant it. And he really did tweet that. He saw the video. This is just yet another insult to people of color in this country. And in particular, in this moment, shows his insensitivity. But not only insensitivity, but he actually just does not care about racism.
A lot of activists have directed their ire on monuments of the Confederacy or symbols of the Confederacy. And in doing so, a lot of statues have come down, some of those without links to the Confederacy, like one with George Washington. Do you think there's a point at which protesters are going too far? And how do we decide which monuments stay and which monuments go?
For too long in this country, we have allowed symbols of the Confederacy, which is really about white supremacy, to stand throughout our country. And not only to stand, but it's like we glorify these people as if they were heroes. If you go to the South, there are a lot of people who still talk about the Civil War and are upset that the South lost. And so it is important that we get rid of these symbols, that we still keep our history and that we tell our history, but we tell our history with some truth about what these people were about and how they enslaved Black people, the kind of capitalism that was built upon the bodies of Black people. That's the kind of history that we need to have. So those relics can be moved into a museum. They should be kept in our history books, but not glorified, but instead tell the real truth about who they are and what they stood for. And in terms of our ability to take them down and who should decide, local communities should decide, but we should have the real truth about who the people were, who we are glorifying through statues and other symbols.
Judith Browne Dianis, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
And again, we're waiting on White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany to give a briefing any moment now. You